promote sustainable development, improving the quality of life for everyone. Nobody can be excluded from that.
Institutional indifference that we are facing following the atrocity of what we call locally the corporate massacre of the residents of Grenfell Tower. And I'll tell you, there are three questions that we want answered. Why did Grenfell happen? Who is responsible? And what the bloody hell is going to happen after? And that is what this community, and that is what Justice for Grenfell will be demanding. And we've got a message to Theresa May. Tell your hound dogs to back off from smearing our campaign, from raising racist rants in the newspaper like the Daily Mail and the Sunday Times.
We will not fall. We will not fall. We will not fall. We will not. 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 We will not fall. We will not. 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 United we stand, divided we fall. One should go to me instead of four. We can get that, we can know shit. This is your ass. And keep them there. You can see us, you can see us now. Yes, yo, no fear, we can win this tears to this time. Only the rest survive when it's time. Let's let the dream go right. I said, we're gonna get the ocean. We strike poses, yeah. We won't fall down, bro. Cause we might hate that way. So just walk this way, yo. I thought it was gonna go. Yeah. When it's question, so you never know. When it's all the same, it's all the same thing. The way we need to live, change the whole day. The same, the reason for. One of the reasons for the fuel. One of the reasons, love, but you got to know it in the real. When I keep to listen, blah, blah, blah. See a boss. When it's being trying to rock, blockchain, the whole game, and everything is the top. The high, the tax, the life, futuristic action. Follow the play, to live is a constant. The credit, violent and conquered. So what you gotta do before your time is spent? I'd rather snap for something. Yeah. Or for nothing. Yo. I'd rather test the waters. Yo. And call you bluffing. Bro. I'd rather do my thing. Do my thing. And even more. I'd rather see the light and live my life in the dark. We will not. Hey yo, we will not. 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 We will not fall. We will not fall. We will not fall. We will not fall. We will not. 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 We will not fall. We will not fall. No. Make some noise for Zara Sykes. Love music hate racism in the area. Much love all around, up and down. If you love love, then make some noise.
My name's Kevin Courtney. Until September, I was General Secretary of the National Union of Teachers. Now with Mary Boasted, I'm Joint General Secretary of the National Education Union, the biggest education union in Europe, the fourth biggest union in the TUC, proud sponsor of Stand Up to Racism. It's vital the work that we're doing here today. You cannot trust that progress is always in the right direction. You look at Europe, you see the growth of racist and fascist parties, and you know that it can happen here. But you also know that in this country we have a proud history. We defeated the National Front. We defeated the British National Party. We are pleased that the leaders of Britain First are in jail. Good place for them to be. But we are scared. The growth of the Football Lads Alliance, The growth of this disgraceful punish a Muslim idea. The thing that happened in Bath last week, some white boys in a secondary school tied a black boy to a fence, whipped him and engaged in a mock slave auction. These things can happen in our country and they don't go away unless we challenge them. So we all have responsibilities. We've got responsibilities as individuals and we've got responsibilities as collectivities, as organisations. Everyone has to challenge racism when they see it. If we want to live in a good world, the responsibility lies on us. So if your mother talks about coloured people and it doesn't quite work, you don't have to challenge that. You can talk to her, you know, have a nice time with your mum. But if your dad tells you that Islam is a religion of evil, if your uncle says that, you have to tell him he's wrong. You have to challenge it. If you hear racism on the street, or in your workplace or in your school, you have to speak out against it. And when you do, you will find that other people will stand alongside you and speak out against it as well. The responsibility is on us individually, it's on us collectively. If the Football Lads Alliance is marching in a way that is upsetting, that is frightening, we have to mobilise together peacefully against it. Our unions have to mobilise as well. I am really proud that my union is speaking out over the prevent policy in our schools. Nobody wants children groomed by ISIS or other evil people. But you don't solve that problem without talking to children, and the prevent policy is preventing us talking to children. And I am proud that my union is speaking out against the disgraceful things that the head of Ofsted, Amanda Spielman, is saying about the hijab. It is truly disgraceful that she is seeking to mobilise the forces of the British state, because that's what Ofsted is, trying to mobilise head teachers to a position where the state tries to intervene to ban children from wearing the clothes that they want to wear. Truly disgraceful. It's a sign of the soft racism, of the respectable racism, of Islamophobia that permeates so much of our society. We have an obligation to stand up to racism, to stand up against Islamophobia. We have an obligation. It's on all of us, individually and collectively. More power to you.
A lot of people have joined us in our silent march. We ask you to continue to join us. I myself have started Humanity for Grenfell and Humanity for the World, because we are one. And everybody saw when the Grenfell Tower fire happened and the response, there was no colour, there was no creed, there was no religion. Everybody was one. That's the first in my lifetime, in 59 years, I have seen humanity at work. And today I see humanity. I see the rainbow colours of we are as a nation. So we are here to say no to racism in the workplace, no to racism in the schools, no to racism, period. We are one blood, one unity, one race, and we are standing together as a collective. Humanity for Grenfell, humanity for England. Can I hear you? Humanity. Humanity. That is the key that we all need. And let that become our focus word from here on, because together as a collective we will always stand. And goodbye and God bless. Keep up the fight.
United, we are going to stand up to racism. We've seen since the Brexit vote a rise in recorded hate crime. Many of you will have seen a week or so ago that female student at Nottingham Trent who had racists chanting outside her bedroom and chanting Brexit, Brexit. We have to stand up against that. And I'm here to say we stand with all the communities that they target, and we must oppose the politics of hatred which they feed off, whether it's online or whether it's in politics and the media.
After 3 recounts, the first ever Labour MP was elected for Kensington. How did that happen? The world had shifted. Partly, voters in North Kensington voted for someone they knew. Partly, electors in other parts of Kensington voted against a government they were no longer comfortable with, and there was a bit of Brexit there too. 4 days later, their distrust was proved correct. The years of underinvestment, neglect, disrepair, and disdain for social tenets was demonstrated for the whole world to see in the worst ever peacetime disaster in the United Kingdom. I was there. I will never forget it. It changed my life, as well as those who were so badly let down by our government and the council, and they're still letting people down every single day. What I'm told officially about rehousing survivors and bereaved people from Grenfell does not equate with my experience visiting people in hotels and temporary accommodation. It does not add up. Endless promises and guarantees have been broken. People with severe PTSD, some with double PTSD because they've come from refugee countries where they were persecuted. People who have lost every single item, including close family members and friends, are still living in hotels, their mental and physical health deteriorating. Would this have happened if Camden Hill Towers and Notting Hill Gate had been incinerated with 71 of its residents?